Can you believe it? Games Workshop have updated our codex and changed a lot of units to be core. But what exactly does this mean? It's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, what an exciting day. Yesterday we had the balance data sheet come out from Games Workshop with some updated rules for Necrons, and well, today we're going to be discussing them. Now, a few weeks ago I made a video called Games Workshop Hates Necron Fans. We were just having a general discussion about 3 things that would improve our codex. 1, make reanimation protocol better. 2, make command protocols better. And 3, give us better damage on our big guns. Well, we've had an update from Games Workshop and, well, they haven't touched any of those things. They've touched core units, which do actually affect one of our discussions, and that was reanimation protocols, going to help with that. However, core units was always going to be a helpful thing because, well, we can do so much more with core. So let's have a look at these updates and find out exactly what this means for us. Okay, so these are the units which now have the core keyword, and it's an interesting one. There's 9 units in total, and even though we have been talking about having more units with core, I don't think any of us thought that we would get so many units with it. They've even updated a Forge World unit as well, so we've got 9 units which have gained the core keyword. The Canoptic Acanthrites from the Forge World range, and then the rest are from the Codex. So we've got the Canoptic Reanimator, the Canoptic Wraiths, Flayed Ones, Locust Destroyers and Heavy Destroyers, Ophidian Destroyers and Scorpec Destroyers, and of course right at the end there, Triarch Praetorians, which is just awesome to see all of those units with the core keyword. Now, I don't think this is going to be pushing us up to a tier 1 level, which some people have been saying, but I do think that it's going to open up a lot more opportunities for us with our armies, with our units, and give us a much better chance on the table. I think this, all in all, is a great move from Games Workshop, and then when Chapter Approved comes out, hopefully we might get some points reductions as well, which would be very useful. So, what exactly does this mean for our army? Well, of course, there's going to be lots of new combinations that we can use, and we're going to delve deep into those combinations in future videos. Today, I want to outline all of the changes that I've found anyway. Hopefully I've got them all. If I haven't, let me know in the comments box below. But all of the changes to the actual units that now have this core rule. What exactly does this change mean? So let's have a look at these changes. So the first thing is going to be buffs. So we are going to be able to buff these units because they have that core keyword, and the buffs that we're going to be able to do let's have a look at these. So 1, these units can now benefit from My Will Be Done. So yes, +1 to hit. Yes please, I've written it down there with a big smiley face. That is going to be fantastic. Now of course Imitech can do My Will Be Done twice for free, but I think maybe the key thing here could be the Catacomb Command Barge because of its movement, especially if you want to keep up with things like our Wraiths and the Scorpec Destroyers, potentially giving us a nice range for that buffing ability. So the Command Barge I think could be very useful, but obviously we've got a lot of options now with these new rules. Now of course Relentless March, which is an aura, is also going to give us +1 to move and advance on these units. Pretty nice. I've been going through some of the characters. Anrakur, the Traveller, with his Legion aura, will give us +1 attack to these units. Obviously, you do need to get them in range, which we will talk more about in the future, but yeah, it's there. +1 attack from Anrakur. Now, Illuminor Xerus is a bit of a standout one, I think, here, because he has Rites of Reanimation. Now, Rites of Reanimation lets you bring back a model. So once it's destroyed and you failed all your RP, you can bring back that model. Now, that's usually, or was, a core model, so usually it would be your core units, or indeed obviously warriors, but now we can bring back these new core units. So Wraiths, Scorpec Destroyers, coming back with all of their wounds. As I said, this sort of helps with reanimation protocols now. So yeah, Rites of Reanimation, very useful, and Illuminor can do that twice, albeit on 2 separate units. Now, not only that, but of course Illuminor has the mechanical augmentation, so it is random, but he can give a core unit +1 to strength, +1 to toughness, +1 to ballistic skill. You roll a dice, and whatever you roll, that's what you get for the whole game, and you can only do 1 unit per turn. However, this is awesome, because we can give those extra buffs to our destroyers, to our wraiths, potentially to our flayed ones, or any of those core units. Now we can do this. This is awesome. Illuminor Xerus has definitely gone up in my list of units that I will play, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting him on the table, because we've got this brand new awesome model, so it'll be great to use it. Now, next is Nemesis. Now, Nemesis has the Transient Madness ability, which is a 9-inch range, where you can give plus, well, I haven't put 1 there, it's obviously going to be 1. Yeah, +1 to attack or ballistic skill, and potentially a reroll of a charge roll. Now again, it is random, and there's a hoop that you have to go through in terms of rolling a dice to get this ability. But he does have it, and obviously being an overlord, he's got my will be done, etc. So Nemesis potentially is there as well. The Royal Warden, having the ability to fall back and still shoot, still charge Scorpec Destroyers. Awesome. This is going to be a great ability. You still have range issues, so we are going to really have to think about how we're going to make all of this work, but in the right place at the right time, it's going to be awesome. Now, we've also got the Lord's Will, which obviously the Lord and Varguard has, which is a 9-inch range, reroll 1s to hit, which now we can get with our new core units. And the Technomancer, which is probably the most popular and most used cryptech. The Chronomancer, still very good, obviously, but the Technomancer now, well, it's pretty awesome, because you can bring back 1 Necron core model. Yes, Rites of Reanimation on him, and with the cloak, he can move 10 inches, he can fly, he can keep up with your destroyers and your wraiths, and not only that, you can bring back D3 lost wounds with him as well. And we've got the node option, +1 attack to cryptech units. So if you want to keep up with your wraiths, you could potentially go more attack and have that +1 attack. So the Technomancer's got a lot of options and a lot of abilities for us, and I think it's going to be pretty awesome going forward. And of course, talking of awesome, let's not forget the Silent King himself, who has quite a number of extra abilities for core units. Now we can get them on our wraiths, we can get them on our destroyers. This is a game changer for the Silent King lists. I mean, I've been playing the Silent King quite a lot recently because I've just finished painting him. Definitely going to be working on some new Silent King lists. Now, the Night Scythe is another thing which has obviously the ability to carry core units. So now we can put in there, bearing in mind it is core infantry, flayed ones, Locust Destroyers and Heavy Destroyers, Ophidian Destroyers, Scorpec Destroyers, and Triarch Praetorians. And of course there's the Monolith with the Eternal Gate, which teleports core units through it. Whether this is going to make us play Monoliths, probably not, but well, it's an improvement. So that's the basic buffs from within the units themselves, but of course we've got other things, and the first thing that I want to talk about is relics. In particular, the Veil of Darkness, which is pretty much the only relic which is going to be more useful now because of the core units that we have, because of course the Veil of Darkness only works with core, so we've now got the ability to basically teleport in those new core units, and of course the main ones here are probably going to be wraiths and destroyers, although flayed ones is another option because of course you can assault after you've moved with the Veil of Darkness, unlike when you teleport in with the Deceiver. So yeah, the Veil of Darkness is going to be awesome. This is going to be the mainstay of where we get a lot of our tactics from. So imagine a Technomancer with the Veil of Darkness veiling in with some wraiths. So the Veil of Darkness is now awesome. I used to play the Veil of Darkness in most lists anyway because it was just really useful, but of course now that we can use this on these new core units, well, let's face it, it's awesome. Now we do need to have a look at stratagems as well because, well, some combinations are going to come from these stratagems. Now in this video I'm going to look at the stratagems that these new core units can now use. We're going to delve deeper into the combinations of the stratagems, the relic and the units in another video, but today we're going to have a look at the changes. And as far as I can see, correct me in the comments box if I've got this wrong, but as far as I can see there's only 3 stratagems actually. There's the dimensional corridor for the monolith, allowing you to bring a unit from reserve through the monolith door for 1 CP, and then there's prismatic dimensional breach, which is actually quite a similar thing but for the monolith and the night scythe. But the key one is the disruption field for 1 CP, which in the previous edition of 40k I used all the time on my flayed ones, but of course flayed ones weren't core. They are core now, +1 to strength, and of course that's not just for flayed ones. You can use this on your wraiths, you can use this on your Scorpec destroyers. This is definitely a game changer. Disruption fields +1 to strength for 1 CP on those core units. I cannot wait to try out some of these new awesome combos. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to playtest them, I'm going to record battle reports, I'm going to make videos all about them. In the meantime, if you want to see some of my other tactical videos, then here is a playlist for you to check out next.